My favorite teacher is Ms. Vandersloot.
Okay, Ms. Rubenstein.
Ms. Daly.
Mr. Schaefer.
Mr. Filio. She's a fun and nice teacher.
Dr. O. He's one of the teachers that pushes you to do extra. He teaches you how to learn.
It's amazing to read the letters I get from the graduates of the school because they all manage to send me a little note of not only appreciation, but of their enthusiasm for what they're doing.
The common denominator is the person, the teacher, the administrator. Those are the people who are making the difference in education.
Ten or 15 years ago, there was a renaissance at UConn. We've all decided that we're going to make this university and our School of Ed the very best it can be, with a common mission and a common core of people working for a common good, in this case, the betterment of education.
Students come in, they want to change the world. We know that. What we have to do is give them the tools to make sure that they can.
There, that's just going to be 1 + x.
First and foremost, students have to acquire a strong content knowledge base if they're going to be able to teach. Secondly, they spend extensive amount of times in classrooms in various settings, both urban and suburban.
Our goal is to develop the next generation of professionals, but to make sure that those professionals are reflective and analytical.
We have George Sagai, who is arguably one of the top people in the country in the area of positive behavior support.
One of the first major influences on effective teaching is that first year out and in your first job. So we try really hard to make sure that the skills we give teachers in classroom management in particular, which is my area, are those that are effective right away.
Raise your hand if you think that the line shown is tangent to the circle. As teachers, we have to understand that kids are different today and understand that if they don't quite learn the way that we expect them to, then we've got to come up with different ways of teaching them so that they can get the material.
They have to develop a deep resolve to make the world a better place. And that's really who our students are when they leave here.
Right, in the right angle, right?
For me, at least, it's the method. What am I doing to engage them? What am I doing to make them interested in this thing that I love called math? Oh, I don't know. Samir. I'm farther along than where I was, 5 years ago. But I still feel like I have a lot to learn. Committed to my students, I am. I hope that what I'm doing is going to inspire them to believe in themselves.
Within the Neag School of Education, we have a number of programs that are recognized on a national level. Our Gifted and Talented program is one of the top programs in the nation.
We as educators need to look at kids as individuals. We need to spend some time on their strengths, not just on their deficits, and also pay attention to their interests.
Our Department of Kinesiology is the #1 ranked program in the country.
We have a laboratory that looks at a lot of different questions directed at the health and welfare of people. We've become very sophisticated in what we do. We're not the typical major that people think about when they think about physical education.
It's really good for you. It's really, really good for you.
Connecticut has the largest achievement gap in the country. And so there's a very big difference between the haves and the have-nots.
It's imperative to continue to address this problem and hopefully turn it around.
Our goal is to work in those districts where we can help narrow that gap.
We work with kids in the inner city of Hartford. We try to create a very strong environment where the kids can ask questions. It's very interactive. The teachers are very much involved. We focus on life skills, nutrition, educational support, and physical activity.
Do he live in the White House?
Yeah! Our students are spending so much time in the field, and they learn while they're here with us how to apply the research and the knowledge to actual problems of practice.
If I can relate that to kids on a larger scale once I graduate, I think I'm gonna go into the community development realm, working with youth and sports.
Good job!
My first principal said to me, what if you had the opportunity to affect 500 kids as opposed to 25? Because I thought I was going to teach forever. And I thought about that and thought about, well, what if I did have the opportunity to affect 500 kids? And so I went into administration, and the only option was to go back to Neag. I was fortunate to be able to take over a building where I was able to hire my own staff. Teachers who you feel are really invested in the turnaround process is crucial. At one time, it was the 11th lowest school in the state of Connecticut. We are now the most improved elementary school in the city of Hartford. You can't please 100% of people all the time, but if everybody can agree that we're all trying to do what's best for kids, then we can move forward.
My favorite teacher was Miss Phillips, always went by Miss.
Miss Martin in 3rd grade was wonderful.
Mrs. Rackley.
Mrs. Dowdy, she wore green every day.
Just little things she did, being organized, being friendly, being kind with the students.
She didn't play around a lot, and she was very strict, but I remember she was a very caring person, very caring teacher.
There's really a sense of common purpose among all of the faculty in the Neag School that we are preparing this next generation of professionals to go out and not only solve the problems that exist today, but also to identify the problems that exist in the future.
We're able to help them build a sense of community that really extends beyond graduation. My students continue to use one another as support networks, even when they are teaching in all parts of the United States.
Even though I'm not here every day, UConn is very much involved in everything I've done. They are constantly in touch with you.
It's critical that we produce these highly effective professionals, such as teachers, principals, superintendents, and exercise scientists, as well as physical therapists, so that they can impact the people who will become productive citizens of our society.